Okay, man. Let's see this. Oh. Nah, hold on. Nah, they hell. Hey, nah.
Giannis Antetokounmpo would have 250 points in a game in the 70s.
Stop the cap.
Nah, let me stop. Nah, it's not. Giannis.
If they caught me doing all my ball handling tricks in 1950,
Drew?
they would have called the witch doctor on me.
Now, Drew was different.
Greatest point guard. He's not Bob Cousy. He's not Bob Cousy.
Bob Cousy couldn't dribble with his left hand.
Bob Cousy changed the game.
You really think we're dropping Bob Cousy in today's NBA?
Bob
left
Cousy.
dribbling with his right hand? That's no knock on Bob Cousy. What happened is Bob Cousy was a very creative guy, and someone else learned from him and developed their game better, and then from them. But you can't take those guys back then and drop them in today's game.
Everybody keeps...
Hold on. Y'all told me to react to this video, man. We finally here, bro. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate everybody who support the channel, bro. Hype the videos up, bro. But look, man, check the NBA Legends Reaction playlist for more videos like this, bro. But let's go ahead and get into it. And look, and Mad Dog, bro. If nobody know who Mad Dog is, bro, Mad Dog is probably one of the funniest. I might add a Mad Dog clip here that I want y'all to see that's so funny to me.
God, I can look at this. That mother didn't want her in there. She wants to enjoy her son. And who takes their girlfriend 2 minutes into a relationship to visit mommy and daddy? Nobody does that. And now all of a sudden she's a big Kansas City Chiefs fan. She's never heard of letting go. Oh my.
I literally watch this clip at least once every other day. Like, I'm not even gonna lie.
Past basketball and walking away unimpressed. But today in particular, I want to talk about dribbling, carrying, and bringing the ball to a pause while dribbling. Those two things alone are 90% of why in the Bob Cousy era looks the way it looks versus why dribbling looks the way it looks today. A player who is dribbling may not put any part of his hand under the ball and carry it from one point to another, or bring it to a pause and then continue to dribble again. So today's players, when they dribble and they do a pause, dribble, pause, that is permitting the ball to come to a rest. So any hesitation dribble, it's not just pausing your dribble either. Pausing is one way to cause a violation, and then sliding your hand on the underside of the ball.
Yeah.
And again, every possession, multiple times during possessions. This is what gives modern players such a sure-looking handle, especially great ball handlers like Kyrie Irving. It looks like they never lose the ball. He does all sorts of things to both protect the ball and gain all sorts of advantage, changing direction, altering his timing, bringing the ball to a pause. You know, that's a modern hesitation dribble.
That is crazy.
Look at the lateral movement modern players have and compare it with players like Jerry West. You'll never see Jerry West do this motion. A lot of these guys would look back in time and say it's because Jerry West has no handles. Playing by the rules that I just showed you, which are still in the NBA rulebook to this day, they just don't call it anymore.
Well, today, my hand will be under the ball because you couldn't, I mean, you carry the ball all over the place today, but the ball all over the place today, but
ABA looking to run every time. Here is Ralph Simpson in the game now.
That was nasty. Hold on. Let me see.
ABA looking to run every time. Here is Ralph Simpson in the game now. Back.
Hold on. Hold on. I understand what he's saying though, but he shouldn't have showed this clip because this clip was nasty.
ABA looking to run every time.
He dribbled it and waited for the ball to get here. Usually you dribble it and catch it before it gets there. Well, that was nasty what he did. You see how he waited for the ball to get there?
At the top of the key for Boston. Take it in. We got a foul.
That's terrible.
Offensive foul.
I don't know why
Turned it over, did he?
Ooh.
Took it over and rolled it over. Took the hand from the bottom, brought it over the top. So I guess that's what they call.
Oh yeah, they was doing them bad back in the day.
Win the basketball game.
Randy Smith took it away. He comes back.
Oh nah, yeah, they was doing them bad. But y'all gotta blame the referees then. The referees, or was it the NBA altogether? Well, why the fuck was they calling that?
You expect to win the basketball game.
Randy Smith took it away. He comes back down the other way, and they're going to call him on a dribbling violation.
Randy Smith like, bro.
That NBA.
He said that's a crossover.
See, their hand barely goes underneath the ball. Now look at this by comparison.
Oh, that's a boy?
He's
What?
cradling the ball. He's cupping the ball.
First of all,
his hand is literally like this as the ball is resting on top of it. Now, if he popped up for the shot, you'd, like as if he ended his dribble, you might not have anything to say about this. But just watch. He puts the ball back down.
That's a curry, bud. I don't give a fuck what era you in. He's not supposed to dribble then pick the ball up. You're supposed to dribble and let it drop. Ja carried on that one. That's a fact.
Up for the shot, you'd, like as if he ended his dribble, you might not have anything to say about this. But just watch. He puts the ball back down. Now, I do think it's important, we're talking about some of the limitations here. How did they teach dribbling back then? What does a good ball handler look like back then?
You want them spread comfortably on the ball, where you can feel that ball, right? Now, so far, I'm dribbling waist high, fingertip control, all right? You want to be bent comfortably, where you can maneuver, all right? Now, you notice how my knees are bent? I'm able to go any place I so desire, right? Fingertip control, waist high, knees.
I ain't gonna lie, my man got on the lowest of low tops. What them Chuck Taylors? What are those? And them New Balances? Yo, them ankles, yo, I'm tell you something. He better not do no hard cuts, no movements, them ankles.
I so desire, right? Fingertip control, waist high, knees bent comfortably. Don't look at the ball. You want to look at your opponent. You want to know where he is. Now if he goes after the ball, now you can change your direction, fingertip control, all right, and you can maneuver him for the shot. But if you're so busy watching the ball, all right, you don't know where the basket is and you'll never know where he is. Turn and face your opponent. Now, he is puzzled. He doesn't know what you're going to do. I'm going to go to my left on a dribble, all right? Now, he knows what I'm going to do, but does he know when I'm going to do it?
Ah, you ready?
All right, now I say dribble waist high, but a person like, say, Erwin Rowe, who's now with the Knickerbockers, he prefers to dribble high. He feels he has better control of a basketball high. All right? Some people think it's illegal. But here again, in the pros, you can do a lot of things that you can't do in high school or in junior high school basketball. Remember that, all right? So I would prefer to see ball players who are learning to dribble a basketball practice dribbling that ball waist high. All right? I want you to take.
Oh, shit, boy, he went to his leg so goddamn fast. Hey, you're not taking that shit. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. I'm taking that. He not playing with me like that. It's a fact. Oh!
Does that look like a guy who never worked on his handle? Doesn't know how to dribble? Or does that look like a guy who has a pretty well-honed dribble that takes into consideration that his hand cannot touch the underside of the ball?
Oh, no, that's a fact. He's definitely, bro, they was doing the old school bad. I don't know why the officiating, they was doing y'all bad. Yeah.
Or bring the ball to a pause. He doesn't do a hesitation, and he doesn't slip his fingers underneath the ball. And yet he has exceptional control, and he can go where he wants, and he can manipulate the defender.
I'd have took that though, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100.
That is what the handles look like when they were done very well in the past.
I mean, can you imagine, the skill level that we have nowadays? Let's say me doing that back in the freaking 60s. That would have probably put me in jail.
Absolutely.
I would have been the greatest player ever.
All right, Calvin, let's see a few dexterity drills.
Why
This drill is a good one, but only after you've mastered the basic fundamentals of dribbling. And mastering these skills is not difficult. It only requires practice. What makes this easy is the fact that no organization is needed. You don't need a gym or teammates or an audience.
Stupid. The only thing about that is they're not really trying to take the ball in the Globetrotters. So they're not really playing defense. So you down there can do whatever dribble you want. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of different.
You have a basketball, you can, and you should.
Well, them boys out
practice
there.
in your backyard, your basement, in the
I wonder-
driveway, anywhere.
Not so with the two-ball passing drill. Here, Jack George reels them around from the center of the wheel.
Backyard, your ball, you can and you should. Practice in your backyard, your basement, in the driveway, should.
What the fuck was
Practice
that?
in your backyard, your basement, in the
Bro,
driveway.
what was am I
Practice
tripping?
in your
Did
backyard,
he just get up and
your basement,
long
in the
cross him like
driveway,
that?
anywhere.
Not so with the two-ball passing drill. Here, Jack George reels them around from the center of the wheel, juggling, tossing, and passing shortly. This helps your hands and sharpens your eyesight.
You can do it at your leisure. And if you practice long enough and with intelligence, you too can become a great ball handler.
Comes out of a
Pete
system
different.
I started around 6 or 7 years of age, what we call
Pete was what they say Kyrie is. Pete was that. Pete is that. So the people better not talk about Pete. Talk about he ain't got no handles. Y'all better go watch some Pete. Y'all better go watch him.
homework basketball, and
I watched it.
takes in reaction drills, quickness drills to improve your quickness, your coordination, your confidence, and your overall ability to handle a basketball.
We have the greatest high school players play college. From college to pros, the greatest college players play pro.
You know, when I was a little kid, I had a dream, and the dream was to be a professional basketball player. I would play 8 hours a day, and if you played 1 hour a day, I knew I was a better player. So when I stepped on the court, I had confidence, and I developed a left hand and a right hand. You put that in for 15 years, you should be a good player.
Number 8 down there on the floor is Steve Trusdorf. Despite their extreme youth, even their warm-up is incredible.
Well, I started playing organized ball at the age of 9, I believe.
How did you happen to start so early?
Well, my family has a history of playing basketball. My mother played basketball for a while with a traveling team, and I just picked it up from there.
Only the best of the college graduates makes the National Basketball Association. The NBA is tough to break into, and it's a truly great
See, the
player.
only thing about this, bro, you definitely gotta have good handle, bro. You gotta have great handle to be doing shit like that. Oh, I don't know why people say those who don't have a handle. When you only can put it on top of the ball, it's easy to take that shit. You only can do a certain amount of things.
Player who makes the grade. Of the more than 15 million men and boys playing the game in the United States, only 90 move into the pay-for-play game.
14th straight to set a new school record in successive wins.
Move into the pay-for-play game.
14th straight to set a new school record in successive wins. Then the senior guard climaxes the big 82-72 win over the Jayhawks with a magnificent piece of dribbling.
First, you should
Okay,
learn to
hold
dribble
on.
with your head in a position that allows you to see the entire floor. Let the whole hand control the ball. Don't try to dribble with your fingers alone. Obviously, however, you can't turn the ball over or calm the ball when you're dribbling, but keep a rapid pattern on the bounce with the hand on top of the ball to prevent any violation. Archibald's hand is always on top of the ball. In a game, you must protect the ball at all times. The head is up. Archibald doesn't watch the ball.
Watch Bob Cousy exhibit that tremendous skill which has made people call him Mr. Basketball.
Wow, Cousy,
A
that
great
means giving
dribbling
people
display.
work with one
Time
hand.
ticking
What are you
away,
talking about?
and the ball game is over.
What Cousy likes best, and that goes for the kids, is when everybody gangs up to try to stop one of the game's greatest dribblers. He can probably dribble all over Times Square to be sure without the help of a traffic cop.
First, he has practiced long enough so that
But bro, that's fire though. It's like if you can't take it with one hand, you can't take it. I'm taking that though.
has
I'm
complete
taking
control
that.
of the ball. He doesn't have to watch the ball, and as a result, he concentrates on his teammates and his opponent. This only comes through hours and hours of hard work. You'll notice also he changes pace, dribbling slowly or quickly as the situation demands. These fundamentals must be learned in competition. As you watch Nate Archibald controlling the ball moving through these chairs, picture yourself in the same situation. The dribble is used to attack an individual opponent also. Archibald illustrates the onside move. Also uses the crossover dribble. He fakes, bounces the ball directly under the hand of the defenseman, pushing the ball into his other hand, and has an easy jump shot.
The past players, they are the best masters of that era. Just like today's players are the best masters of this era. Everything that those players were doing with their dribble that you just saw, all of that is allowed today. Whereas everything you see modern players do is not allowed back then. In other words, they have the best handle possible under that set of rules.
That's
if
a
that
fact.
doesn't sell it to you a little bit, that, hey, maybe I should be taking another look at this era and these players and how they played and try to get a better understanding of it. If that doesn't, help get you a little bit interested, I'm going to peel the layers of time back even further. We're going to go back even before the NBA, from the 1930s decade. This is within 40 years of the inception of basketball. This is Hank Lucetti. This was still the era where after every made basket, there was a center jump. Again, look at his hand placement. Even when he goes behind the back, his fingertips stay on the upper 50 percentile of that ball.
Well, not when he go between his legs.
And look at his
nasty.
technique. You still might look at this and say, well, that looks a bit awkward.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Compared to people with handles today. Well, again, he's...
No, see, that's the thing what young people be saying. They be like, he don't got handles because it look nasty. No, it look nasty because he got handles for what he trying to do. Y'all feel what I'm trying to say? What he trying to say is what I think. I don't know, but...
Look at his technique. You still might look at this and say, well, that looks a bit awkward compared to people with handles today. Well, again, he's only touching the upper 50 percentile of the ball. Anybody who can only dribble touching the top 50 percentile of the ball, you're going to have less lateral control.
Yeah.
You can't put your hand under it and then twist your hand back on top.
That's why I'm taking it.
That's the go-to move for players who want sharp control and being able to turn left and right and, shake a defender that's riding their hip. But it just goes to show players, even back in the 1930s,
I seen that left hand floater Kyrie just did. That was crazy. Fuck the handle.
their hip. But it just goes to show players, even back in the 1930s, could go between the legs, behind the back and between the legs at this, all in the same possession.
He's not Bob Cousy. Bob Cousy couldn't dribble with his left hand.
You really think we're dropping Bob Cousy in today's NBA?
Bob
Left
Cousy.
dribbling with his right hand?
This is the most often cited criticism against that era, and that is that players go left. You heard Stan Van Gundy say this earlier in the video. Players that go left and they dribble with their right hand. Everybody looks at it like it's a fault because it's drilled into these players' heads, especially the higher levels they go. You should never be going left while dribbling with your right hand. I'm going to argue against this concept right here. The way I'm going to do that is first to point out that they understood that even back then.
By dribbling with the wrong hand, the ball is close to the defensive man and can easily be slapped away.
They're people, not machines. They don't just repeat mistakes over and over again, right? They understand, like Jerry West, if he's bringing the ball up and he's dribbling with his right hand and he's going left, he understands the proximity of the defender and he understands who that defender is. They were very familiar with the players they played against. They would play the same player 12 times in a season, and they are reading and reacting to what that player is doing. A lot of times you'll see players going left and dribbling right and reacting. They would play the same player 12 times in a season, and they are reading and reacting to what that player is doing. A lot of times you'll see players.
It's just the defense. I guess they have to really make their dribble better because the defense wasn't trying to steal that shit.
In the season, and they are reading and reacting to what that player is doing. A lot of times you'll see players going left and dribbling right. Don't approach the topic as if they don't know better.
No, they definitely know better.
Approach the
They
topic
just don't have to.
As, hey, that's supposedly a player with a lot of experience and a lot of ability. I wonder why he's doing that.
Because they can't stop
You would then start to be able to figure out that these players, first off, like one of the reasons why Jerry West, for example, is doing that is because he pulls right up to his shot. Like that's the threat. If the defender is too far back, Jerry West will be comfortable still dribbling the ball with his right hand and going left. If the defender is too far back, and if the defender still does nothing and doesn't read or react to the situation, Jerry West can just pull straight up. It's like in a Western movie. The cowboy's got his hand on his holster, right? Jerry West is ready to draw at any given point, which is why defenders, if Jerry West has not got a hot hand, they might cheat. They might.
But he got to be honest, though. Jerry, let's be honest, though. It can be a little bit of both. But I'm going to be honest, though. Let's keep it real. That's in like every sport, though. Baseball, football, don't matter. like each sport gets progressively more like, how I say it, more like they develop more. So when they had helmets back in the day, obviously, but the more wiggle and the more or less officiating the rules, then every sport, it should be like that though. You want the sport to stay the same? Why you want the sport to stay the same?
If Jerry West has not got a hot hand, they might cheat. They might play back on it. It's going to prevent his drive. He is a threat when he drives as well. He's not just a threat as a pull-up jump shooter. So if they don't pick him up, like he didn't get picked up here, he'll just pop a shot off.
The defense was just...
It could be a next possession. It could be some other possession down the floor. Now players start picking him up. As soon as you pick him up, now his counter is cross over on you and then drive, right? It's just one move sets up the other.
You know, everyone talks about all these different moves. Most of them are only 2 or 3 things. They are. They're only 2 or 3 things. There's only 2. The jump shot, the stopping thing. If a guy starts to play that, what are your options? Okay, your options are ball fake, over here with this one. Ball. Little hesitation dribble.
Jerry West still got it. I believe Jerry West is still get a nigga 50.
These different things. All it is just options and what you're going to do. People think there's 100 options. There are not. Not really.
Ball fake. So this is that hesitation.
See, I don't believe in that. I definitely is a lot of options. It's not just a couple options. I mean, if you want to keep it simple, it's definitely like the main options. But when the defense get more extravagant and they start sending, like, you gotta get different. You can't just keep doing, you know? But I understand what Jerry was saying.
I alluded to earlier in the video that it's very different than today's hesitation dribble. It's really just a head fake and you stopped your body. You made it look like you're about to square up for a shot. That's a hesitation dribble back then. And then you continue your dribble because it freezes the defender just for a half second.
Here he lifts his head as if to shoot. His defender has to move closer, lifting his arms and shifting his weight forward. And suddenly, Sam is gone. Sam is so quick, he finishes his fake before his defender even reacts. There's the start and finish.
Again, this is like blink and you miss it stuff, which is like, I made this analogy in my Willis Reed video. This is not a game where you blow by people and get feet, like, 10, 15 feet of space. It's not possible to control a lot of today's moves without getting your hand under the ball. It is essential to have your hand under the ball or the moves just don't work. Either you can't cut hard enough and it doesn't sell to the defender, or you just can't retrieve the ball and gain control of it again. This is an era where you're like a knife fighter in a phone booth and you're doing very subtle feints and fakes to try to get open. So, shooting percentages were lower back then. Everything was a little bit lower back then because they're working in tight spaces. There's no three-point line. There's no downhill play. You'll see a bunch of rule changes. I'll touch on them a little bit later. But take a look at this. Take a look at this fake and then drive. It's very subtle, but it's effective.
A smart defensive man can cause you problems by overplaying your strong side. Here's an answer to that. The reverse pivot dribble. Again, Pete Maravich demonstrates how effective it can be.
Pete.
The defense overplays to Pete's left. With the ball on his left side, Pete spins his body away from the defense, picks the ball up with his right hand and drives. Once again, with practice, the move is relatively simple. The shot is impossible. Can you make this move?
The shot
Yes,
is
you
impossible.
Can. It's easy. The shot is something else, but the move is easy.
Nah, you ain't Pistol Pete.
Stop, 18 feet wide by fire. He's got it. Jerry West brings the Lakers to within 2. Timeout was called by
See, my thing is, I understand they had, like, they couldn't, the defense couldn't take that back in the day, but the dribbling had to evolve because the defense was evolving, I think. Like, you can't do that now. You do that now? They taking that. I'm taking that.
You may ask, what if the fake doesn't move the defensive man? Well, if that's the
You ain't
case,
taking
you
that.
do as Pete Maravich does. You use the crossover dribble. Push the ball from the right hand to the left hand and attack the defense on his weak side. It's an easy move. Once again, the shot's another matter. Watch the easy move. Once again, the shot's another matter.
Hold on, y'all just catch that though. He hit a nigga with a. Hold on, am I tripping?
It's an easy move. Once again, the shot's another matter. Watch the key points. Fake to the right, bounce the ball directly under the defensive man's extended hand, not too far so you can pick it up with your left hand, and drive close to the defense to the basket. The move is not difficult, but the secret lies in ability to handle the ball, and that takes practice.
When you're bouncing the ball right in front of the defensive man, make sure that you have control of the ball and don't let it get too far out in front of you.
Once again, use the jump shot as well as the layup, and the defense has a lot of problems.
Okay, y'all tripping.
Is ready to go.
Them long crosses, boy. What?
A minute and a half to go, third quarter. Clark. Bounce pass to Unseld. Grab by Lucas.
Here's a classic move by Pistol Pete. You must develop moves on your own, and you'll see Maravich do a double reverse pivot dribble. First he reverses, then reverses again, and the defense wonders what happened. Pete scored. You're going to perfect your individual moves. You must learn to drive as close to the defense as possible. If you're afraid to drive straight for the basket, you'll find the defense is possible. If you're afraid to drive straight for the basket, you'll find the defense can recover and stop your shots.
But he switches hands and comes back. Now, off of this rhythm, Oscar fakes to the left and gets clear to his right.
8 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 points.
Jerry West.
Lou Hudson is going left with the ball in his right hand. As soon as the defensive player gets into a stance, I think that's Dave Bing playing defense, he switches to a crossover with his left hand, and it sets him up for a pull-up jump shot. Now on the next, this is the next possession. This is the 1971 NBA All-Star game. On the next possession, he's dribbling up the court. Dave Bing picks him up at half court. So he knows he's got to switch to that left hand earlier. Dave Bing's picking him up at half court now. Hand checking, riding his hip. And you'll see the hesitation dribble from back then. Again, you'll see he doesn't actually bring his dribble to a pause. What he does is he just stops and gives a bit of a fake, which causes Dave Bing to plant both feet. As soon as Dave Bing is caught flat-footed, Lou Hudson knows that's my cue to continue on driving. This was a fake. This was the hesitation. This is.
But I don't think everybody was doing it that way, because I just seen some highlights where dudes was just I think it was coming into us. I don't know, bro. You really can't.
And like I said, this is blink and you miss it stuff. If you play this back in real time, it's very hard to see. But this is the stuff. This is then is a game of inches. Now it's a game of feet. Back then was a game of inches. If you play this back in real time, it's very hard to see. But this is the stuff. This is why I say back then is a game of inches. Now it's a game of feet. Back then was a game of inches. Take a look at this in real time here. Yep, there's the freeze and onto the drive. Now compare that to today. Look at how much space LaMelo creates because he can carry the ball. Just on the one carry alone that he does here, which is an egregious carry. But again, it's all part of the modern game. This is, I mean, it is what it is. We're in the NBA is an entertainment league.
Egregious.
This has trickled down. I even see carrying in high school games. So, you know, because everybody tries to emulate what's in the NBA, this is just part of the game now.
Has Ayton in the crosshairs. Just a blow by.
Oh, that's a hell of a carry.
Yeah,
well, my thing is, Melo do that. I don't think every player do that. Melo just be, boy, that was a hell of a carry. He brought it and brought it back and did that. That's a carry.
Yeah, he gets
you can't bring it back and then do that.
It's like all the daylight you could possibly dream of getting as a shooter.
Look at the ball handling right here.
Because his gather carries the ball like a baby.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That should have been called, though.
Look at the rotation.
That should have been called for sure.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention when carrying became okay in the NBA.
My thing is, I don't think carrying is okay. I think he's kind of like saying that everybody be doing that. I don't think everybody do that. I think the hesitations and They're doing that. I think that's part of the game now. I think that's not going nowhere. But the actual doing this, they got to call that, bro. Like, what's up, bro?
And for those that don't know, it largely is attributed to when Allen Iverson entered the league.
That's Cal.
I mean, that, look at that.
He just made it pop
make that move and not carry the ball.
I wanted to add something on Iverson's move. They have called it a number of times here in the league, and that's why the guy's averaging almost 5 turnovers a game, Tom. But also take into account this. That is his signature move, and if he is going to be truly one of the up-and-coming stars that's going to represent the league, they're going to let him get away with it more times than not. You're exactly right. I think that dribble there is a carry every single time he goes to the basket. But, like I said, it's his signature move, and they're going to let him get away with it.
That's not a carry. A carry is when he, bro. My thing is, y'all gotta understand what a carry is. This is a carry. He's not doing that. He's doing.
And then, of course,
he coming here. It's like the side, but
into
almost
every
on
player
the
that comes after Allen Iverson. That's going to be, you know, a new up-and-coming, great ball-handling talent coming into the league, and it's eventually.
This is a carry, bro. If he do this, then long cross, that's a carry. But if he keep it on the side, it's not a carry.
To the point where, like, every forward carries, every center carries, like I don't think there's a single player in the NBA playing today that does not carry the ball at least sometimes throughout the course of a game. Another point to be made here is dribbling out of the post. I've seen a number of comments on some of the Wilt Chamberlain videos I've put out over the years. Like, I've seen some reaction videos where a few people have pointed out, like, there's no way he could play even in the 90s. And they base it off of the way he dribbles. Well, I'd just like to point out that from the 1980s and up, players started violating one of these rules. So it was the late 90s and up that started to be the NBA carrying era.
I'm telling y'all, AI made it like popular. He made it like where it was like, bruh, moves can get even crazier if you just.
But before that, the 1980s and up was the NBA's pause, bringing your dribble to a pause, the hesitation dribble era. So again, carrying is normal in the NBA from the 90s and up. Bringing the dribble to a pause at its apex in your hand, that has been a thing since the 1980s. I don't know exactly which player popularized it, but if I had to guess, maybe Magic Johnson, because he was a really tall guard. And he did this, he always would go in the post, and he had this like really high dribble, and it looks like he's bringing it to a pause. Which it's not as egregious as it eventually became. Like by the time it's the even early 1990s, and I watch like players like Patrick Ewing in the post dribbling, I mean, he just basically, he's cupping the ball and bringing it to a complete pause and then putting it back down. Now compare it to Wilt Chamberlain, and this is even in the 70s. Look at this. And that's why players, and that's why I've heard fans say like, well, I don't think he could even play in the 90s. I think it's largely because of this dribble. They think he looks like an awkward dribbler.
Yeah, it do look nasty.
But again, this is how you had to dribble back then.
It was
Look at Calvin Murphy dribble. This is the center doing this is a center playing in the post doing the equivalent of what Calvin Murphy was doing, where it's just like tap, 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 no bringing the dribble to a pause. This is maybe tethering to why Calvin Murphy thought, and others thought, Earl Monroe's dribble, his high dribble, was some sort of violation. It could be tethered to this too. Back then, if you had like a shoulder high dribble and it looked like it was some sort of mistake, they blew the whistle right away. In fact, anything that the ref thought looked like a mistake, they blew the whistle back then. It's totally different than today. Today, players get all sorts of...
Well, my thing is, he got to stop. My thing is, I like what he's saying. Like, everything he's saying is mostly fact. But he got to stop saying to today. It's been gradually changing. It's like he's skipping the middle and going straight to the NBA. He just started doing, no, 60s, 70s, 80s, and it started tripling down. It's just like, so you got to blame you got to blame a whole lot of players and a whole lot of eras, to be honest with you. You can't just blame this era. But I understand what he's saying, though. It's getting worse now. It's like, it's getting bad.
Recovery opportunity.
It is getting bad.
Even if there's an unforced, like they lose their handle. They could even dribble off their own foot today. And the refs allow them to like, oh, just keep tapping the ball and continue play.
Okay, so
look at
like
how strict it
offense
was
a lot.
if they sensed any kind of mistake back then.
You know, Elgin. That's travel.
Now the ref would have called that now. Huh? What we doing?
Milwaukee fans thought traveled a little at the baseline on Wednesday night. Hairston now with 12 points.
he just
looked
looked
crazy
indecisive
though.
for a second. They blew the whistle.
That's a ninth Milwaukee turnover.
That's a playoff game too.
Oh, what was that? Oh, that was nasty though.
Compared to today. Look, he gathers it and then starts dribbling again.
See, this is why. Okay, he got a point. Like I said, he got a point. But when you start picking and choosing highlights, certain highlights, it's like the NBA. Okay, they do it today, but they don't. It's not like we gotta come on. I understand what he's saying. It's just the picking and choosing the highlights. Really, just like
he panicked. He didn't know what to do. He panicked. He's rewarded for his mistake.
Yeah, but in full play, you can't tell he did that.
I saw that in the finals. I was like, no way. It's like he made a mistake and
on
they
the
let him get away
replay, you can
with
see it. Bomb. Ooh.
Same here. Look at that high dribble. Make a mistake, lets him get away with it.
But it's a lot of times where people make mistakes and they don't get away with it though.
Same exact kind of play.
That was nasty.
Blown. The whistle was blown. Same here. Elgin gets a little bit of a high dribble. They immediately call.
But they're not calling that every play though.
Same here.
Bro. You picking out. I can pick out plays right now that they calling on NBA players now, and pick out plays that where they not calling it on players old days, bro. That's why I say the picking of the clips is just the picking of the clips.
Quickly, he lost control of it and turned it over on the dribble.
Just when it comes to something like this, it can be like
uses the dribble, dribbles once more and passes it. Now compared to Steph Curry, same thing. Loses it, dribbles once more.
Ain't nothing
Play
happening.
continues. And same here. Watch LeBron James. Dribbles off his own foot. Not only does he continue dribbling, he carries it and then continues dribbling. So they let players get away with a lot more today. Now,
I don't think that's true. I just think he just searched for certain highlights and just shows certain highlights. That's just me though. Y'all can hate me in the comments. That's just me.
To show in the big picture, like, why do players' handles look so different then to now? I would be remiss if I didn't just do some sort of gentle reminder that the ball handling rules that I'm discussing now are just one substantial piece, but just one piece of a much larger picture of very impactful officiating changes from then to now. One of the other ones is traveling. A lot of fans talk about how today's players travel.
Oh yeah,
they are
wow,
right.
That shit nasty.
By comparison to prior eras, today's players travel a lot and it never gets called. There's a whole young generation of people coming up saying it was never a travel, and they argue all day long. If you count the steps like this and count the gather like this, it was never. I can just tell you, just watching 10 minutes of tape back then.
Havlicek guarding Selby, who gets off the shot, was called for traveling. Elmore Smith, outlet past David Myers. Money was back, and Myers traveled.
So 2 steps. If the ref.
That's my thing with the clips, bro. You can't show, bro, because you probably can go to show a million clips of them actually traveling and not being called. Like, we can't show clips, and we gotta actually. Like, I agree with this though. I actually agree with this point, but we can't. The clips is what this is like, bro. It's like you picking and choosing.
It looked a little bit out of rhythm. They're called traveling.
Understandable.
So
traveling
you know, you can argue like whatever you think the rule means. It doesn't matter. That's what refs were calling. So it was a very tightly called game with respect to traveling. And then the other thing was offensive contact. Offensive contact while trying to drive or trying to shoot back then was, it was basically disallowed. You could kind of get away with it if you were past your defender. Like if you really got past your defender, you could kind of get away with, like, you know, maintaining some sort of contact around their body. Like I've seen Earl Monroe do that in clips where he kind of gets away with it. I've seen Jerry West, Rick Barry, a couple of those guys do that, where they sort of maintain contact as an offensive player. But if you run into a defensive player, they had a concept called defensive rights back then. You know, you couldn't run into a defensive player. Like you couldn't even bump them slightly.
Chicago coming out running, 3-on-2 break. Walker takes it inside and lays it in. The basket is disallowed.
That officiating was nasty. I'm not gonna lie.
The baseline. There's a rookie, Scott Webman, in good defensive position. But Walker jumps back and into McNeil. Good
What?
ball by the official.
Watch this. Then he dishes, and there he is. Oh, Archie. Oh, that's a tough call. Vinnie Johnson had set it up perfectly. Look at the feed, and Westfall
that
with a
happens.
jammer with a left hand, but it's a charge.
They call it a charge sometimes for those. That first one was nasty. He ducked.
Give any point. Walt Frazier against Don Cheney. Frazier. Elbowed him. Foul called on Frazier. Take another look at it. See him shove him with his elbow.
One final point I'll make is I think the strict rules back then, it affected big players more than any other player.
Yes.
Obviously the guards, they were still able to sort of go where they wanted and dribble the ball whenever and wherever they wanted. I think it really held back the ball handling potential of players that were bigs, like Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, etc. Players who are really tall, really high center of gravity, and really big hands.
Can you imagine, you know,
That carries it right there.
skill level that we have nowadays? Let's
Nigga
say
double.
Double dribble.
It's an all-star thing though.
That would have probably put me in jail.
Yeah, or they just blow the whistle.
I would have been the greatest player ever.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's
Got
when
it.
I hate like this one I hate the youngest and the old folks like him. Like, you ain't gotta hate like this, bro. Like, this is hating. When he like, oh, they would call, come on, bro. Joel Embiid, I think older players could do good in today's game. I also think some of today's players could do good in old. Like, we ain't gotta hate. Let's just appreciate basketball, man. Let's appreciate greatness.
Carry, in transition. Double dribble.
That's a double. That's nasty.
By Jokic. And look at Wilt by comparison, hand on top of the ball. And I could have an extensive set of clips. His hand is always on top of the ball. Same with Bill Russell. Hand is always on top of the ball, even in slow motion here. Again, we would look at that. A lot of fans would look at that today.
I know we're
and be
not
like,
comparing
wow.
Bill Russell to what we doing. I love Bill Russell. I love Bill. Don't do me in the comments. I love Bill. Legend. Immortal. One of the GOATs. We're not comparing Bill Russell to some of the greatest centers. Come on, bro. We're not doing that. We doing that? He do got 11 rings.
What an awkward, stiff dribble.
Now, Wilt Chamberlain's different.
Again, and now look at Kevin Durant.
See, that's
Hand
not, he
completely
didn't.
under the ball.
His hand was not complete under the ball. That's cap. Look. His hand, that's not under the ball. Y'all, that's not under the ball. Am I tripping? Under the ball is this. This is under the ball. I hope y'all know. I want y'all to look. Compare this to this. This is under the ball, bro. His hand is like this. It's like this. It's not under the ball. This is under the ball. This is not under the ball. The people in the 60s, they like this. We like here. This is carry, though. This is what LaMelo then was doing. LaMelo carry. This is not a carry right here. Okay? Y'all probably gonna hate me in the comments saying, you can't see, you are blind. I love y'all too. This is not a carry, though. I'm sorry.
And now look at Kevin
See, that's not a carry. That's not a carry. Y'all Kevin. Look at his feet, though. That nigga's feet is upside down. Feel like he about to come out of his shoes.
Durant, hand completely under the ball.
His hand was not under the ball, big bro. Sorry to tell you.
So they would have to.
See, that was almost the same. Look.
So they would.
See, his hand wasn't complete. It was like this. Look, KD had him by a little bit more.
They
That's
have to
all.
figure out how to dribble like Connie Hawkins here, where his hand stays on top of the ball. I don't think every big playing today who handles the ball could make this adjustment. He even catches the ball after going behind his back or
Why do
between
we
his
want
legs.
to?
He even
Hold on.
catches
My thing
the
is,
ball.
y'all think that dribbling is better than today's dribbling? That's the question. Y'all, hold on. Now I got to ask the real question. Y'all think that dribbling is better than today's dribbling? Y'all rather see this dribbling? Come on, man. Let's have some real talks in the comments. Let's have some real hard discussions. I love the old days. Hey, y'all started it. But let's keep it real.
With his hand on top of it. Whereas Kevin puts his hand underneath the ball.
You got to watch the clip in slow
But again,
motion,
that's
big
just,
bro.
he practices that way, though. They all practice that way. Why are we making this video? What am I trying to show? I'm just trying to show Players back then were at the razor's edge of what was allowed with respect to ball handling. You can't dribble better than they dribbled under that way of officiating the game.
I don't think that's true. See, that's why I think he got, like, y'all gotta evolve. You don't think the same, hold on, y'all really think the players not gonna evolve to be better? Y'all think players not gonna be better than, I guess, bro. I don't know what y'all want. I don't know. Y'all expect the players to, like, not get better and evolve? Like, I understand that it gotten egregious, but let's keep it real, though. Like, let's not sit here and play and cap with each other. Look at him. He like.
That's my belief. And I hope I showed enough footage to demonstrate that. The reason I want to talk about this stuff is I'm really trying to bring the level of conversation up. When people try to get into all these fantasy situations where they're like, oh, take a modern player and move them back in time, and what happens? And or take a player from the past and move them forward in time, and what happens? The conversations are lacking so many important details. You know, people just look at stats or they just look at whatever. I would describe myself as a very passionate fan of basketball. I really love playing. I've been playing for so many years, and I've been collecting this footage for so many years. I'm just trying to share to the best of my ability what I see and what I understand. There is so many great players throughout the history of the game. We cannot bury them under this arrogant position that we think everything just got better. Like it's linear progress, like it's a piece of technology. Everything just got better. You know, like I said, again, I've heard people say it's like look at a Ford Model T versus a car now. And I'm like, except we're talking about the drivers of the cars. We're not talking about the Ford Model T. We're talking about drivers.
So he basically trying to, okay, bro.
Those are people, and those people are the same. That's the people who are playing basketball. They're just people.
So you're saying the people not involved in the game. So he basically saying people, they is not that much better than what they was back then. I don't agree with that.
They are capitalizing today on everything they possibly can to gain an advantage over the defense, to play their best defense, etc. Game of cat and mouse. I have no doubt in my mind the players playing today are some of the best players that have ever played NBA basketball. But I also have no doubt in my mind that the players back then showing that kind of work ethic and that kind of skill were also some of the best players that have ever played basketball.
I don't agree. Y'all gonna hate me in the comments. I don't agree. The only reason I don't agree with that, bro, because it's like it started to get so like the 80s and 90s when like the 80s and 90s and when the 80s hit, okay, fine, but bro, you can see some of them clips where the defense only like they playing for real. It don't like they playing. Am I tripping? I might be tripping.
Do you think you could have beaten prime Bob Cousy in one?
I could have got Bob Cousy. I'd have gave Bob Cousy 50.
I do. Yeah. As somebody to this day can't handle the ball better than Bob Cousy, yes, I still think I could have beaten him. Yes.
I'd have took that, Bob. Sorry, I love you, Bob. I'd have took that.
How tall is Bob Cousy?
Bob Cousy is at his ball handling.
Taking that, Bob.
Paul Harrison takes the marker.
Up the marker. Good of the roll, beautiful.
Bullet Bob Cousy rattles the backboard with a blazing hook.
Doubling, Walker, spin around, between the legs and dribble.
Bullet Cousy helps Paul Harrison take the marker.
Up the marker. Good of the roll, beautiful.
Bullet Bob Cousy rattles the backboard with a blazing hook.
Doubling, Walker, spin around, between the legs and dribble. He reverses to the right, 15-footer, grabbed by Walker.
Taking it, bro. I'm taking it. I ain't taking that. No, that bill. I'm taking some of these though. I'm taking some of this, man. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Some bonus footage. My thing is, bro, I don't watch a lot of good, like ball handling folks back in the day. I'm gonna give y'all my stance on it. My stance, bro, I just think it evolved, bro. I think they had the best hands for what they could do back then. Bob Cousy is an immortal. He's a legend. Pete Maverick is a legend. He started it all. What are you talking about? These are legends. Bill Russell is immortal. He's an alien. Can't nobody talk, bro. I don't get why younger folks be hating though. Plumbers and all this dumb shit. Like, I understand y'all be thinking like the older folks be, it's like, Their game was nasty. It didn't look good. I think that sometimes. Well, I do think that. But these are legends of the game. These are the people who pioneered the game and did what they could with what they had. So let's keep it real. That's like saying, don't get me started, bro. This is why I have a problem with people putting Steph Curry above some of the like Magic Johnson and stuff like that. Cause like, what's wrong with y'all? But hey, man, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think, bro. I just think sports evolved, bro. I think they had the best hands for what they had at the time, bro. I feel like they do. It is NBA today is egregious. It is egregious. It is nasty. What y'all want them to do? I don't know. I think the NBA don't give a fuck as long as they making money. I don't think the NBA care as long as they making money. But hey, let me know what y'all think in the comments, bro. I'm probably gonna get a lot of people saying, bro, you don't know ball. You don't know ball. You don't know ball. I love y'all, bro. I just got my own opinions. But I love y'all, man. I appreciate everybody who support the channel. I'm gonna see y'all next one, man. No.